Why did Nedu resign from the Honors Bunch podcast? He said he resigned from the Honors Bunch podcast, but why did he resign? Now, before you come and tell me he resigned because he wants to save the credibility of the Honors Bunch podcast, does it mean that he himself wasn't credible? Does it mean that there is a little bit of uncredibility in him? Does that mean that a little fact is there in what he was being accused of, even if it is a tiny little bit of fact in what he's been accused? Was that the reason why he removed himself from Honors Bunch podcast? Because if you say you are resigning because you want to save the credibility of a podcast, does that mean you yourself, you're not credible? It's just a question. Now, what I want to let you guys know, or each and every one of you know, that is that you see all these people that are dragging each other like someone who is dragging the rope of a generator. Each one of them have their part to play in all this. Each one of them has their skeleton in the cupboard. Will very dark man be dragging or talking about Nedu, dragging Nedu to the extent that he resigned or he was fired, whichever one it is, which very dark man be dragging him to that extent if Nedu wasn't a public figure, a powerful public figure in the creator sector? He wouldn't have. He probably would have picked the case within a few videos or so. He would have dropped the case. Also, the Mr. Nigerian that is coming on every and any podcast saying one thing or the other against one another, or saying one thing or the other and counterfeiting it again, would he also, doesn't he also have an ulterior motive? Each one of them has an ulterior motive. The one that is on this case matter also, he has his own special interest. He has in his own ulterior motive. Why is he always on video a very dark man's case? Does it mean that very dark man is not right in most of the times he is making his videos or making his accusation or dragging someone? But why is it that D1 is always against very dark man? It's because we all know what D1 is looking for. D1 is looking for attention from very dark man, and very dark man choose not to give it. So you see, all these people, they have their own skeleton in their cupboard. They have their own ulterior motive. Each one of them has the part to play. Each one of them has their own fault in all this. So don't let anyone come and deceive you with any guilt, with any innocency. Nedu has a little bit of guilt in him. Very dark man has his own motives. D1 has his own motive. The Mr. Nigerian that is saying one thing today to saying another thing tomorrow. A full-grown man that is saying he was manipulated. After you pay 5 million naira, you still come and say you were manipulated. How can I allow myself to be manipulated after I pay for something? You see all these people? Be very careful with all of them, each and every one of them.